So the next movie I'm going to talk about is How to Blow Up a Pipeline. I always love saying things like that, especially if it's a long title. It's like coming to you from the future. Doesn't matter. Anyway, How to Blow Up a Pipeline. It's a movie about. It depends on what you think. It's classified as an eco thriller on Wikipedia. I don't know what you call it. It's very tense. It's based off a book called, well, How to Blow Up a Pipeline. I'm going to click the book to see what the book was about. So the book is about the author of the book argues that sabotage is a local form of climate activism and criticizes both pacifism within the climate movement and climate fatalism outside it. The book inspired a film of the same name. I kind of like, because you remember way back when they did World War Z? No, not World War Z. Was it World War Z? Hold on. Give me a second. I got a thinking. Yeah. World War Z. Yeah. Okay, World War Z with Brad Pitt. That's based off a book that is, I think it's like a survival guide for the zombie apocalypse. Yeah, I think that's what it is. World War Z. An oral history of the zombie war. And yeah, there's another book that was kind of like a sequel to this that is about like a guide, a zombie survival guide. I read a little bit of the zombie survival guide because it was just a cool idea. I like the idea of like a movie based on a book that is kind of like a guide in a way. I don't think it's necessarily an actual guide to how to blow up a pipeline, but the way the movie is presented, it's very straightforward in how they blow up a pipeline. And that's how it sort of avoids, I think, angering some people, like, politically. So it follows a group of mostly youngsters. They're not all youngsters, but they're mostly youngsters. And they all have their own different reasons for wanting to blow up a pipeline. And it's an oil pipeline in the Texas wilderness. The leader is named, oh my gosh, I can't remember. No. Chidi? Yeah, something like that. And she does want to, I can't read that. Oh, Chittle? I stinking saw the movie. I can't remember her name. It doesn't matter. So the movie opens up with a really cool scene where she's just walking, and they have lots of really cool shots of just following behind all the actors and in really cool ways. And they're all like color coded. They're basically like eco-terrorist Power Rangers, and it's kind of funny. Anyway, her main deal is she has big issues with climate change. I think it's implied that one of her parents died and might be related to just pollution, I guess. And then she has a friend who also wants to help with the blowing up of the pipeline, who is dying of cancer, I think, because of like acid rain that they used to have when they were kids, try and play in the rain. The pollution would, I guess, burn their skin, and it was a bad deal. I'm not going to go through the whole list. They all have their own reasons for wanting to blow up this effing pipeline. One guy, they thinking like did a government seizure of his land just so they could lay down the pipeline. I'm not trying. Anyway, what I really like is the ideas they play with in the beginning of the movie. Like, they're really kind of just all talking each other into, like, yeah, this is a good idea. Why wouldn't we do this? Like, one of the characters is like, if the mass media is calling us if the mass media are calling us terrorists, then we're doing something right, or something like that. And they were talking about how previous social movements were deemed terrorism, not even non-violent social movements were deemed terrorism in their day, just because they had radical ideas. And then later on, what we do, if it was ideas we're okay with now, we say, oh, these political activists fought for change. Oh yeah, but you were calling them terrorists like 3 years ago or something, or 30 years ago, whatever. So I love how it plays with those ideas. I love how it plays like when she goes around slashing tires out of protest, I guess, and she puts down papers. The leader of the group, flyers on car shield windows, talking about. It says, "Why I sabotaged your property." Blah 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 blah. And the tagline of the movie is really good. It's like, "This is an act of self-defense." And it just really, it's a cool idea of like, you never think of like not even political activists. I'm talking about like climate change activists doing anything along these lines that would definitely be considered terrorism. Even though nobody was there, they didn't hurt anybody. I could definitely see, like, especially if you just blow up a stinking pipeline and you lose that much money for some big business, they're going to throw the book at you real hard. The story is pretty clever with how they can give you a little bit of information, help you figure out how the stinking group was made, and also they sort of tie up in a bow about how, what happens to all the characters. Good and bad. No, mostly just good. I'm not gonna lie. If I had any disappointment, it was like, oh, I guess it all kind of worked out at the end in a way. In a way, but not quite. That's my one smallest brief complaint. It's not really a big of one, because I really liked how they delved out information. They really racked up the tension, and they have great ways of stinking psyching you out with some things. Like, obviously they're dealing with explosives, so anytime you're seeing them having to place a bomb anywhere or dealing with trying to like fix a bomb, you're freaking out because you're like, oh my goodness, are they gonna sink and blow themselves up? Oh, and you think they're gonna blow themselves up, and they really play with you with that. It's really fun. How about the pipeline? I think it was really good. Would it have been in my top 10? I still don't necessarily think so. Like I said, I kind of wanted a little more from it in some ways. But I do think it does raise some really good questions and great things to talk about. Plus, it has that kid from Blackish, the son from Blackish. He's pretty cool. He does a more toned down performance in this than he does in Blackish. Obviously, he's more like fun and loud in Blackish. But no, he's pretty good. I think the whole cast here is good. One of these guys I saw in Fargo recently too. The blonde-headed guy. What's his name? It's not telling me. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, How to Blow Up a Pipeline, pretty good. Next.